my barn. But more importantly, this is my Jeep. This is a 1999 Jeep Cherokee, known to fans as the XJ Cherokee. The XJ Cherokee has an enormous fan base, and really clean examples can go for upwards of $10,000. That's crazy money for a 20 to 30-year-old Jeep. The XJ Cherokee came out in 1984, and for almost 17 years you could buy pretty much the exact same car. The XJ Cherokee represents a gone time, when there was all boxy vehicles and no flowing curves. You can't get that anywhere now. The XJ Cherokee has one of the best engines known to any Jeep. It's the straight 6 4-liter engine, and it was used for ages in many Jeeps. It's crazy how much this vehicle can be taken apart with just a screwdriver or a wrench. There's literally screws everywhere. Here's one, here's one, here's one, here's one. They're literally all across this thing. And you can take the taillights off with only 3 bolts. It's literally crazy. It's really quite spacious back here. And in fact, the other day, I went camping in this thing. It's really crazy just how much of this vehicle can be taken apart with a screwdriver. Just look at the sill plate for the door. You can literally take it off with just 4 screws and pop on a new one. It's really that simple. Just look at the gas tank cover. In most modern cars you have a fancy button on the interior that you have to press before you're allowed to even open the gas tank. But not in this car. You know, there's not a little handle or a little thing you gotta press. In fact, it's on the opposite side, and it makes it really complicated. Look at the turn signal stop. It's literally just a piece of plastic sticking out of the steering column. They didn't even bother to finish the back. No company could get away with this in 2018. Just look at the gauge cluster. How simple it is, with real gauges. Most modern cars are all electric, and if your battery dies, well, your car dies. But in this one, it's all analog, and it's all old school. One of the weirdest things is this emergency light indicator. I would have thought that you were supposed to press it down, except it shows us this little arrow. Instead of doing this, you have to do this. And now that you see that they're both blinking. Look at the gear selector. It's literally just a T. You pull it, and you go in gear. No company could get away with something this simple in 2018. This had a big impact on today's car world. Either you grew up in the back seat, or you saw 30 a day on the road. Also, this is quite possibly the first crossover. It was the first SUV that showed people that you could have an SUV in the city or even in the suburbs. Before this, SUVs were all truck-based vehicles like the K5 Blaze. The XJs gave way for every SUV today. The XJ is full of weird quirks, so let's go see them. Look at how weird the door handle is. You have to press it in before you could pull it out. It's the weirdest thing. Why not just pull it out? And it's not like they didn't know how to make a normal door handle. As you can see here, they really know how to make normal door handles, so why didn't they on the doors? To put in perspective how small this thing is, I've put it next to my friend. He's only 5'10". And to see the length, this thing is a whole foot shorter than the 2018 Honda Civic. Just look at how easy it is to fold the seat up in the back. You pull a lever, and the front goes up. You push a lever, and the back folds down. To show you how much leg room there is, I've put my 5'10" friend in the back. Look how uncomfortable he is. He must be in so much pain.
I quit.
Just look in the back. They obviously didn't care about safety ratings because there's no rear headrest. All the research that shows that it's beneficial for a car to have rear headrest was done by the time this was made. But nope, Jeep said no rear headrest for you. The sad thing about my Jeep is it had been sideswiped at one point. And it's all scratched up down the side. And you can even see that somebody tried to break in right there.
Walk out the door, you see someone that you know and they ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Notice how the rear window is split. That's because the bottom of the door is taken up by the wheel arch. To compensate for that, they let the rear window roll all the way down.
I have no leg room, I have no headrest, but at least I can stick my head out the window.
Despite how old this vehicle is, it has placeable sound for the speakers. You can see here when we turn up the radio that it's only coming out of the back of the car. Now it's coming out of the front of the car on the passenger side. Now it's on the driver's side. And now it's everywhere. Something different about this car is that it actually has 10 radio presets. But if you look, there's only 5 buttons. Say you want preset 1, like this one is, you hit it again, you're on preset 6. You want 2, you go to 2. You hit it again, you're on preset 7. You want 3, you go to 3. You want 8, you go to 3 again. And so on and so forth. And since this is an old car, it has old car things, like this ancient cassette player and an even more ancient CD player. You can see here that there's an option for an ashtray. You can take it out and you can put it in. But notice, when it's out, it tells you not to smoke. Because if you put your ashes in there, you can't get them out because that part never comes out. If you look here, here's the light operation. But the thing is, you know, that's how you turn off and on your lights, just like in any other older car. That's not all that uncommon. But only once you hear that click, all the interior lights are on. And now for the test drive. And now we're going to take it for a little test drive. This is a warning that the following footage will be very bumpy. I have to test drive the Jeep on an off-road field and on a gravel driveway, and I don't have a very stable camera mount for the car, so this is just how it's going to be, and bear with me. Alright, let's drive this thing. Put the seatbelt on. Never put that song on. Alright. As I stated before, this is going to be very bumpy footage, so just watch the video and bear with me. Being a Jeep, this has solid axles, so instead of something like a car or an SUV that's not meant for off-road, when it goes over bumps or anything that's bumpy in the road, or if it runs something over, you're gonna feel it in the car. And as you can see with this footage, it really is bumpy. As I look behind me in the rearview mirror,
I can really see just how far you can see behind you without the rear headrest getting in the way. It's really amazing. One thing to note about the XJ is that it's not very quick and it's not fast, but when you move the steering wheel, the car moves, and it's really, it's controllable. It's not something that you're gonna run off into a ditch if you're a good driver. It's not fast, it's not terribly slow, but it's just a good all-around car. One thing about this Jeep is it has larger tires, not the biggest, but they're not stock size. So when you go over anything, you can really hear it as well as feel it, but the noise that comes off of the tires is one of the major things in the vehicle. But that's why I keep, the radio and the air conditioning on. It's really hard to notice after a while. Something to remember about the XJ is it's a 20-year-old car, There's not going to be tons of technology in here. There's no blind spot monitoring or a backup camera. Heck, it doesn't even tell me what the temperature is outside. But I know that this Jeep won't shut down when I need it to go somewhere, and I know that it'll take me off-road when I need to go there. I know what you're thinking. This isn't off-road. You're just driving in the grass. Well, I don't have big rocks around here to climb over, and I really wouldn't trust this Jeep climbing over rocks. And this is the best I got. So, you're gonna see some bumpy footage here, but since this is a Jeep, this is what Jeeps do. This Jeep was well worth my money, and if this ever breaks down, I'm probably going to just go buy another one, because they're relatively cheap, and like I said earlier in the video, they're literally everywhere. And I recommend this vehicle to other people. I found this Jeep for well under market value, so you could probably find one that's relatively cheap, or if you're as lucky as me, you could find one that's very, very cheap too. Overall, I'd say it's a good 7 out of 10. Not too good, but not too bad. And it's not the best of driving, but it's not the worst. And I definitely prefer this over others. Giving it a good spot midway past 5.
zoom in the
Stop.
diamond.
Stop. What's
Look at that.
Take
I gotta plug this thing in. Wait, what? Yeah.
There has to be outtakes, Sam.
okay?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
Oh, how you doing? Hi.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
It's not on, is it?
It is on.
It is on. Okay, stop it.